Welcome back, everybody. It's Mr. Conaway again. Today, we're going to start getting into letting those sensors that we just learned about in our last project help us or help the Arduino make decisions. So let's go ahead and start with a new circuit. So I'll create a new circuit right here in Tinkercad, and this is going to be assignment number 12. So I'll rename it assignment number 12, and then I'm going to go down. I'm going to bring in a breadboard here. I'm going to bring in an Arduino here, and then we'll kind of explain what the goal or purpose of this assignment is. What we're going to do is, in electricity and circuits, we used a button to turn on a light. So that was pretty simple. We gave current to the button, and then we pushed the button, and the button transferred its current to the LED turned on, and the LED transferred its current to the negative, and everything worked. This time, though, it's going to be a little bit different. We are going to use a button. We're going to let one of the digital pins listen to see if that button is sending any current its way, and then we're going to use another digital pin to control if a light turns on or doesn't turn on. So I hope that your mind is going back to robotics right now, because it sounds like we need to help our Arduino make a decision. And when we did robotics in Python, we had to use an if-else statement. And the same thing's going to happen here. We're going to use an if-else statement to help us turn on and off a light. So let's see how to do that. All right. So we already know that we need to bring an LED in here. So I'll bring in an LED. I'll just hook it up, right here, looks good. All right. And we also know that we need to use a button, so I'll go ahead and put my button just kind of over there. I like to keep my button and LED away from each other just so that my LED isn't accidentally getting its current from one of the legs of the button. I recommend you do the same. And we are going to need a few things here, so let's go ahead and practice this. Just bridge positive to positive, and negative to negative. All right, and let's give our rails of the breadboard some actual current here. All right, so that's positive, gets it from 5 volts, and since it's positive, it should be red, and negative is going to grab the ground. So that's nothing new to us. We've seen that before. All right, now let's start with my LED here, okay? And maybe let me scoot that LED down just a little bit there. All right, this LED, where should it get its current from? Well, I don't want it to get its current from the positive, because that's always 5 volts of electricity. That means that LED would always be on. I don't want it to always be on. I only want it to turn on when I push a button. I also don't want it to get its current directly from this button. Remember, the point of this exercise is more so to learn how to use if-else than it is to pass current from the button to the LED. So this is more of a programming exercise. So I want this LED to get its current from one of the digital pins over here. And as always, I'm going to avoid using digital pin 0 and digital pin 1. So let's go ahead and just let it get its current from digital pin 2. So I'll make that a different color, maybe orange this time. I'll bring this orange wire, and this is going to supply current to the LED. So remember, I don't want to hook it up to the short cathode side. I want to hook it up to the long anode side, because that should get the current from pin 2. That means at some point, pin 2 is going to send current out along the orange wire to the LED, and that means that current needs to go to the ground or negative to work, so I'm going to make it go through a resistor before that. And for LEDs, we typically want to use a 220 volt resistor, 220 ohm resistor. It's been a long day. So I'll change that to 220 and make sure I have regular ohms and not kilo ohms selected. And then I'll go ahead and hit enter. just click away. So that light is all the way set up. It's going to get current from that orange wire and then send the leftover current to the ground through the resistor. All right. So let's see if we can remember how to hook up a button from our last video. Let's power up the left-hand side of the button, or give current to the left-hand side. That means the right-hand side should go back to a digital pin. So I'll have a wire go from like right here, make that a blue wire, and let's use any digital pin will work, but let's use 8. All right. But that blue wire that I just drew is a giant antenna for all that magnetic information in the environment. I do not want it to get magnetic information from the environment, so that means the right-hand side of the button I need to attach to the negative with a resistor, right? I don't want all the current when I put I don't want all the current when I push the button to go to negative, but I do want to give that magnetic pressure a path to ground. So I'll bring in a resistor, and I will make it 10,000 ohms. And I'm going to run into some spacing issues here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this over here, and then this guy over here too, so I don't plug two things into the same hole. And I will attach this to the right side of the button, the same side that's going to the Arduino. That's what we call the pin side. And that resistor will connect the negative to the right side of the button. And you know what? I'm actually going to take these. I'm just going to draw my bridge in the middle. I think that'll be easier. Make it look nicer. Okay, so I have a pull-down resistor on the right side of my button now. And remember that pull-down resistor is there just to get rid of all the magnetic pressure from the environment. Let's go ahead and think about what the code's going to look like. I'll switch from block to text. Continue. I'll get rid of all the stuff that's already there. We have done all this before. And let's set up a couple global variables that we can use in each function. So I need to rename the pin that's controlling the light and the pin that is hooked up to the button. So that looks like pin 2 and pin 8. So let's start with pin 2. So we'll call that int, and I'll just call that lead pin, and that's going to be pin number 2. Okay, again, that's nothing new to us. And then int for the button, I'm not too original, you guys know that, so I'm just going to call it button pin, and I'm going to assign that to pin number 8. Ooh, this is where it gets exciting though. All right, for me, I love this circuit. So I have pin number 2, pin number 8 are all have a variable now. Let's go ahead and pin mode some stuff. So we'll go here and we'll pin mode. What pins do I need to pin mode? I need to set both of them up. Let's set up that pin for the light first, which I called, which is pin number 2, but we're calling it lead pin with a variable, so lead pin. Now, is this an input pin or is this an output pin? Well, this one is going to send current out to the light. Oh, I just said the word out to the light, so that pin is an output pin. O-U-T, P-U-T, all capitalized. Okay, oh, and a semicolon at the end. And then I also need to pin mode the other pin there, which is the button pin. And I need to ask myself, all right, is this an output pin or is this an input pin? Well, it's waiting for electricity. This is pin number 8. That's waiting for electricity to come in from the button. Oh, I just said the word in, so that's got to be an input pin. Okay, and you guys know I always like to put that serial.begin. We're probably not going to be using any serial function for this program, but maybe we will. But I'll just keep it in there just because That's a good habit of mine. All right. Now, let's talk about what we're going to do here. First, I need to measure if the button pin has any electricity. So what I do is I start off by creating my local variable here, and I'll call it button measure again. All right, and what am I going to assign it? Remember, over here I need to have the command for measuring a digital pin, because pin 8's a digital pin. So that is digital read. All right. And what are we digitally reading, or what argument do I need to pass it? Well, we're digital reading pin 8, but it's not pin 8 anymore. It's now the button pin. All right, so I created a variable. Again, I said this in the last video, and I'm going to say it again because it's true. What happens right here is probably one of the most important things to understand. So pause it and look at this for a second if you need to, and think about what's happening. I'll walk you through it though. So we have created an integer type variable, and the name of that integer variable is button measure. And we have assigned it, that's what the equal sign means, to a measurement. And remember, measurements are always numbers. And since we're dealing with a digital measurement or a digital read, those numbers are going to be 0 for no electricity and 1 for, yeah, I'm getting some electricity. All right, so the variable button measure is either going to be 0 or it's going to be 1. That's important for us to remember. Okay. All right, so now I have created a measurement, and I have stored it into the variable button measure. Now, here's where our if-else comes in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say this. So if, and this is just like in robotics, except it's a little bit different. I mean, if now takes an argument inside of parentheses, but what I put inside that parentheses is my test or my check. I want to check to see if something is true. Well, what variable do I want to check, or what variable do I want to test? Well, I've got 3 of them. I've got lead pin, button pin, or button measure. Well, which one of those 3 variables is remembering if there's any electricity on pin 8? Oh yeah, that's going to be button measure. So I'm going to say if button measure is exactly, and remember that's 2 equal signs. It's a little bit different. If I have 1 equal sign, that means we are forcing one thing to be the other. If I have 2 equal signs, it means I'm checking to see if 2 different things are the same or are equal. So I want to see if button measure is exactly something. Well, here's where we need to understand. Like, we've already talked about some numbers that tell us if there's electricity or if there's no electricity. And remember I said, if there is electricity in pin 8, then it's going to be the number 1. And we saw that in the last assignment too. If there's no electricity, it's going to be the number 0. So you can choose either one. I'm going to choose the number 1. So if button measure is exactly 1, what do I want to have happen? Well, if works kind of like a function. If needs an open curly bracket at the beginning, and then I'm going to hit enter a couple times and hit a closed curly bracket, because I'm going to put some function statements or commands in the space between the open and closed curly bracket, and that's what I want to have happen if button measure is exactly 1. That means there's electricity on that pin. So what do I want to have happen when there's electricity on pin number 8? Well, that means the button's being pushed. What do I want my light to do when the button's being pushed? Yeah, I want my light to turn on. So we've done that before. That's a digital write, D-I-G-I-T-A-L, and capital W. And here it's time for our arguments. It takes 2 arguments. The first thing is, what pin am I digitally writing? And the second is it a high or a low? Is it an on or an off? Well, what pin do I want a digital write? That's pin number 2. I don't call it pin number 2 though anymore. It's now the LED pin, so LED pin. And is it high for on or low for off? Well, when I push the button, I want it to turn on, so that's high. All right, and just like in, so let's look here. We're going to check, or the Arduino is now going to check to see if that variable button measure has the number 1 inside of it. Remember, if the number 1 is inside, that means the button is being pushed. There's electricity in pin 8. So if this check right here is true, if button measure is exactly 1, the Arduino is going to do the stuff between this open curly bracket and this closed curly bracket. And right now there's only one function statement, and that is digital write LED pin high. So that's what happens if button measure equals 1. Well, what happens if button measure is not 1? It's not being pushed. Well, I hope you remember from robotics, if's buddy, else. So else doesn't need a check, or else doesn't need a test, because it's just going to use this one. So else is what happens when this is not true, when button measure is not exactly 1. All right, and else is going to look very similar to if, right? Else is going to start with its own open curly bracket, and it's going to end with its closed curly bracket. And I want to put all the else stuff between those two curly brackets. So what do I want my light to do if button measure is not 1? Well, the only other thing it can be is 0. That means I'm not pushing the button. Well, what do I want my LED to do if I'm not pushing the button? Well, I want it to turn off. So that's going to be another digital write. And this time, well, we're still going to address the LED pin. But I don't want it to turn high because I'm not pushing the button in the else case. I want it to turn off, which is low. All right? So let's just kind of read this like the Arduino is going to read this. This is a very important thing to understand. So I created a variable called button measure, and that's going to remember the reading from the button. So does it have electricity or not? So that means button measure, since it's a digital read, is either going to be 0 for no electricity or 1 for electricity. And then we're going to check to see if button measure is exactly 1. We're going to check to see if button measure has electricity. If it does have electricity, then digital write is going to turn the LED pin on high. It's going to turn the LED pin on. If it does not have electricity, it goes to the else case. That means button measure is not exactly 1. Button measure is 0. It's going to go down here and it's going to do the else case when button measure is 0. And it's going to turn the LED pin low. It's going to keep the light off. And then it's going to go to the end of the loop and back and do it over and over and over and over again. So it's always going to be checking that button for us. So let's start simulation and see what happens. Fingers crossed that I have no errors. I don't. So you can see right now my button is not being pushed. My light is off. If I push my button, my light turns on. So guys, you just taught your Arduino how to think, how to make a decision, right? It's going to be using its senses just like human beings do. And when it senses something is happening, it's going to react using an if-else statement. And our brains pretty much work the exact same way. Isn't that really cool that our brains have built-in if-else statements? Like, if something is hot, I pull my hand away or whatever, right? That's really cool that our brains have that stuff built inside and that we've kind of copied those structures from our brains into programming. So you have just started down your path to artificial intelligence, if you will, getting your Arduino to make a decision. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for following along.